What's going on, guys? I'm RJ from ItsRJTV, and today I want to give you 10 tips, 10, on how to win more in tournaments. So anyway, let's jump right in, and yeah, I'm gonna name 10 things. Although it's really 9. The last one kind of sucks, but 10 just is like better for a title, you know. So I kind of clickbaited you a little, but there's good information in here.
The mother rhino is giving birth.
Number 1 is no distractions. Make sure that your boss isn't going to call, or your mom's not expecting. Hello? Yeah, I'm not doing anything. What's going on right now? Oh, okay. Um, yeah, no, I got time. No, it's cool. Last thing you want to do is be multitasking when you're actually trying to place first, second, or third in a tournament. So make sure your phone is either turned off or on vibrate or whatever it takes, and be ready to just sit down, relax, and play 1 or 2 hours of solid golf.
Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg. It's about 10 o'clock. Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg again. I just wanted to make sure you knew that we did start at the usual time this morning. Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg. Hi, it's Bill Lumberg. Yeah, it's me again. So if you could just go ahead and get here as soon as possible, that would be terrific.
Number 2 is know the prizes. And this is very important if you want to play a tournament for it to be profitable for you. Now, we all know that in a tournament, you're going to play 9 holes, and then you're going to hopefully go on to the next round, which is 18 holes, and then you're going to go on to the weekend round, which is another 18 holes. Well, 18 plus 18 is 36, plus 9 is 45. We need to recoup 45 balls somewhere, unless we're playing rookie. Rookie, the only way to recoup all these balls is to place in first, second, or third. But you know, even if you place in first, do you really want that Tour 3 chest? If you're a higher trophy player, probably not. But if you're a lower player and you're afraid to get into tournaments, don't be. Because you're going to be matched up with people in your skill level. And after watching this video, you're going to have an advantage over most of them. However, if we look at pro and we look at these, like, this is what you get for first. So for first place, you get 120 Kingmakers and 50 Titans. Well, you can't count on first place, but you can count on maybe the first 25 spots. So let's take a look here. In pro, you can get 25 Kingmakers. How many did I say you're going to be using? You're going to be using like, what did I say, 46? So you're going to, in pro, you don't want to use bad balls because your opponents are going to use good balls. But if you're playing in pro, you probably want to aim for a top 10 finish, because there you get 30 of one and 18 in another. Save your gems, buy your balls, finance your way through, no payments and 0 interest through this summer as well. But finance your way through, you know, just so you can win some chests, decent amount of money, and get everything going. Really, when you get to expert, which I'm going to be taking my account, this is my mini account to expert. I only have an extra mile 6. My sniper's not max upgraded. You know, I have a lot of clubs that people are going to be using in pro, but I want to play an expert. Why? Because I don't want a Tour 6 chest when I'm playing on Tour 8. Give me the Tour 9 chest. And here on expert, you have a little more leeway. Believe it or not, it's not easier to play on expert, but it's easier to win prizes. And what I mean by that is, you remember you had to come in the top 15 to get your balls back? Well, here in expert, you got to come in the top 25 and you'll get 25 Kingmakers and 25 Titans. that's 50 balls. So if you're using Kingmakers and Titans throughout the tournament, they're going to give you all your balls back, plus you're going to win all these cards, the coins, and clan points.
Casa Erotica 4, a tale of two Latin beauties.
Hey. What? Awkward.
Number 3 is watch others before you actually play, because then you get to see which direction the wind's going to be blowing on specific holes, what types of clubs you should bring, things like that. I like to practice on the first day of qualifying and then actually turn around and try on the second day of qualifying. I'll get into that more later. However, if you watch your favorite YouTubers or, Golf Clash personalities, I particularly like this guy here, you can watch them take the shots. You can watch them, which clubs they're bringing to certain holes, which balls to use, where's the, where do you want less wind resistance, because you're going to need that to push you over a certain bunker or rough. So definitely watch other people play before yourself, because then at least you're getting that feel, you know what to expect. Maybe you can't make a jump if you have headwind, so that's going to mean you're going to play a little bit differently. I love this guy. Here we go. Okay. Number 4, always take notes. When you're watching your favorite YouTube personalities or Golf Clash players, you should have a pen and a paper and your pause button ready so you can take notes. You can see how much top spin, how much side spin, which clubs to bring, like I mentioned before. Notes, I don't know if these will show up very good. Don't have to be really long. As you can see, one hole equals about 2 lines. And this is what I used in the last tournament that we used. So for example, on hole 1 and hole 10, they're the same. You're going to pretty much get the same wind as everyone else in the tournament if you're playing in the same expert, pro, rookie. So right here I have use an extra mile, use a kingmaker, use a little bit of curl, because there was a tree that you could hit and it could knock your ball in lots of trouble. That happened to me in practice. Full right spin. I had my red ring touching the rough and adjust a tiny bit of right curl for my second shot. By having this, I got an eagle every time I played it, and I have these details from hole 1 all the way down to hole 18. 9, 18. Notes are super important, and they don't take that long to make. And they definitely will save you quite a bit of headaches in the future when you're actually playing.
What's the matter?
I have a headache.
It might be a tumor.
It's not a tumor.
Number 5, we actually have on the screen over here. You see those qualifying rounds? Qualifying rounds generally, always fall on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. What a lot of players don't take advantage of and should is, because there's 3 different days to qualify, if you make sure that you don't qualify on the first qualifying day, then you get a practice in. You're going to know which direction the winds are going. You're going to know, if you watch someone before you actually take yours, if you take yours later in the day, you're going to be able to take notes, practice. And what I mean by this is, if you make it through on the first day, you don't get to play on the second day or the third day. So what I personally like to do is I'll play my shots to the best of my ability. But if I know I have a gimme putt, I'm going to miss that putt on purpose, or I may even forfeit right when it's my turn to make the putt. That way I get a bogey. And just make sure your score doesn't go really over, I would say, -2. But doing this on the first day and then qualifying on the second day gives you a big advantage, because you already got that one bit of practice under your belt. And most of the pro players are going to practice on day 1 and day 2, and everyone's going to go try hard on day 3 because there's nothing left after day 3. So what I say to you is practice on day 1, go ahead and qualify on day 2, and take day 3 off and relax. Number 6, take notes. Oh wait, no, that's right. Take more notes. When you actually are playing and you're making mistakes, like maybe on your drive on that first day that you qualified over there, you ended up in the water or you ended up in the rough and you weren't able to get that eagle where you should have been able to get the eagle. Well, like you'll see right here on hole 2, hopefully, yeah, okay. Yep, see hole 2? I had Kingmaker in there, but I switched it to Titan because I had wind at my back. I didn't want that extra wind resistance. As you could see on hole 4, I needed to swap out the opposite direction. I had Titan and needed a Kingmaker. So take more notes after your first notes, so anywhere you made a mistake, you'll know where to fix it. Perhaps you put too much topspin on and ended up in the grass. Perhaps you put, well, it's all grass, isn't it? The tall grass, the grass that they don't mow. Or perhaps you ended up in the sand. Unless there's an ocean around, we don't want to hang out on the beach. We want to get the ball in the hole. This next one is one that I've been very guilty of on my own in the past. And that's where it belongs, in the past. So number 6. No, I already did number 6. Number 7, switch clubs. See, I used to be like, I'm going to play the tournament with the clubs that I know I play the best with. So why would I want to switch them up? I'm glad you asked that. Well, the reasons are plentiful and they make tons of sense. In some cases, you're going to need the distance of the extra mile. And you may need the accuracy of a sniper on certain par 3s. However, sometimes you need to use a driver on a par 3. And if that's the case, I would say use a quarterback. Because look at the ball guide difference, look at the accuracy difference, and also look at the backspin difference. So if I'm using a quarterback and I need stopping power, I have it. But if I'm on a par 3 and I'm like, I'm going to use the extra mile the whole way in, I'm in trouble because I only got 48 backspin instead of 72. Sometimes I even use the rocket. So yeah, the rocket does have a purpose. Look at that 98 backspin and that 90 accuracy. It's completely useless as a driver, but it's kind of like the Guardian in a way for really long par 3s. It's been a lifesaver. So there's lots of clubs in here that the Big Topper is another one. Sometimes you need a whole bunch of topspin with a distance ball just so you could make it onto the green in 2. If you don't use the Big Topper and you use the extra mile instead, there's a few holes where it'll take you 3 shots instead of 2 shots to get onto the green. So that's why it's really important to upgrade all your clubs, at least your drivers and your woods, long irons. I would say you're going to definitely need your Backbone, your Goliath, and the Saturn. Short irons, Thorn and Hornet should be fine. Wedges, rough irons and sand wedges when you're at the beginning may be a little bit bigger of an issue because if you're using a razor, you may not have the distance that you want with the topspin that, say, a club like a Nirvana can have. Or the Amazon, which has ungodly distance, if you are going to be taking certain risks and you're going to be possibly going into the rough and you need to go really far for your next shot, well, the Amazon's a nice little insurance piece there to make sure that you get just that much closer to possibly still get on the green in enough shots to get that eagle or birdie that you need.
Give me the lumber.
I think you want to hit the 2-iron, boss.
Said I want the big dog.
You got a tight par 5 here, man, with out of bounds on the left. I don't think you want to hit the driver. The 2-iron seems like the deal.
Well, I'm not going left of those trees or right of those trees, okay? I'm going over those trees.
Just like switching clubs is extremely important, so is switching balls. Sometimes you got the wind at your back, and that's a big time advantage, so why would you want to use a wind-resistant ball? Sometimes you're going to need a lot of side spin, and you're not going to have it with a basic ball or a Marlin or a Navigator or maybe even a Titan. So all these different balls that you have here are going to have different attributes. Sometimes, what is it? The Berserker is my favorite ball. We get a power 5, but only a 2 side spin and a 1 wind resistance. I see people using this ball on a par 3. It's expensive. It's hard to get. Why? However, on a lot of par 3s, you're going to want to eliminate wind. So I would use something like a Santa ball or something comparable, which has wind resistance 5, side spin 3. This is a perfect par 3 ball. So knowing your different balls, of course, you got to work with what you have to work with. And for free balls, Kingmaker is your total package. You got 3 of everything, and that should be good enough to get you through. However, if you spend $5 on a couple packages to make sure you at least have a power 4 or 5 ball and a wind resistance 4 or 5 ball, this could be the difference between 1 or 2 strokes less or more. If you get 1 or 2 strokes less, you could be looking at a top 10 position. 1 or 2 strokes more, you could be in the bottom 50. You never know. Oh, and one other thing. While you're taking your practice, if you're low on balls or you want to conserve your balls, go ahead and use a Marlin. Because you're not really trying to qualify. You just need to get enough points to get into the opening round. However, I mean, like me personally, I have plenty of balls. I got 14 packs of Navigators, 19 packs of Titans. You win enough tournaments, not win like gold medal, but, you know, come in the top 25, come in the top, 10, 15, wherever you're at. You're going to get a whole bunch of balls, and you'll be able to use them the way that you need to use them. But at first, at least use a Marlin. I don't want to see anyone using a basic ball for any reason. It could be a straight dead-on shot, par 3. At least cut that wind down. But very, very important to use special balls, especially on the opening round and the weekend. Finally, number 9 is a pretty important one as well. Take risks, but only if they're necessary. Now, if by taking this risk, first of all, you know it's a shot you can make. Say you're good at overpowering a ball and 99% of the time you can hit it at least great, that would be one of the times that you might want to take a risk. However, if taking this risk is going to look fancy, but it's not going to get you an extra shot taken off of your score, then it's definitely not worth it. So some people like to do the power slices, and power slices definitely have their place on certain holes. But I also see people doing power slices on holes where they're not necessary. If it's a difference between landing in the sand and not being able to get on the green in 2 or 3 versus playing a little bit more conservative, and instead of using a short iron, you have to use a long iron or a wood club. It's worth it in the long run because you're going to know what clubs to bring to begin with. So if you need dead-on accuracy, you could bring your sniper. If you need a whole bunch of backspin, you can bring your guardian. Make sure that you know what clubs to bring to every hole. And finally, number 10, I told you this was a list of 9, but I needed, for clickbait reasons, I needed to make it 10. Have fun. And when I say have fun, I mean, I really mean it. It's actually a good thing to have on here, but it's kind of a little bit of common sense. If you're stressing, if you're trying to get your turn over with before, you got to go to a party or before you got to go mow the lawn or whatever it is that you're going to do, you're not going to play as well. You need to be in a comfortable environment. You need to be relaxed. Maybe you need to be sitting upright at the kitchen table with your cup of coffee and your, I don't know, newspaper sitting there and the dog at your feet. Make sure that when you make time to play, like rule number 1 with no distractions, that you're also having fun. Because what's the sense in playing a game if it ain't any fun? Thanks so much for watching the video. If it was a help to you, please give a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel, lets more people discover the video. And also, if you're not subscribed, please consider hitting the subscribe button and also that little bell next to it. I don't know why YouTube puts all these click the bell, then click the star, then click the check mark, whatever. If you hit subscribe and the bell, you'll be notified. I go live often. I'm more of a streamer than a video maker. So come hang out with me in the streams, and we'll have a blast. Thanks so much for hanging out. Take care.